Yeah, something about this life, it just ain't right. Easy to get in, hard to get out. Wish I never got in.
It's 6 o'clock. You already know what time it is. Real rapper Rico the Plug.
Now how could I love these streets that don't love me? The same streets that drug my ass through the mud and turned me into a thug. It's been ugly since the day I said I made an oath and never spoke until now. You ask why? Cause I opened my eyes to realize that they told me. And I also realized the real life that it showed me. As an OG, I gotta do my part to reach back, dig deep down inside my heart and speak facts. If he says the shit ain't hard, then he's capped. Why the fuck you think he gave you the strap? You peep that? Cause he know you gon' need that. And they say that they love you, but don't believe that. The same ones that say that they love you will be the same ones that slug you. Little homie, you can take that as facts. And you might think that they love you until they standing above you, about to turn your stupid ass to a pack.
Yeah, I saw that shit right there.
I realize these streets ain't nothing like they used to be. And I realize that these streets are not the place for me. They told me all these lies, but now it's no disguise. Cause I have opened both my eyes. Now how can I love those who don't love me? Now that's above me, because I know it could get ugly if I ain't have God in my life. Yeah, that sounds about right. Lord, forgive them for what they do when they doing it right. Cause they know not what they do when they doing it right. Only got one life and they ready to ruin it, right? Ready to sacrifice for the love of bag, or for the sake of getting shit that they ain't never had. Hop in the whip and crash. Nigga smash, hit the gas, do the dash, do whatever, just get away fast. But you can't get away from yourself, now that's the truth. Every day you gotta look in the mirror and face the truth. Your head is way too big for all that cap that you be putting on, which means you're way too fake for all that fake shit that you putting on. Bro, them ain't diamonds, them is moisonettes. The jeweler must have seen them coming and overcharged his dumb ass, I bet. I realize these streets ain't nothing like they used to be. And I realize that these streets are not the place for me. They told me all these lies, but now it's no disguise. Cause I have opened both my eyes and I realize.
Testing 1 2, it's your boy Rico the Plug, theraphustle.com. You already know what it is. Another episode at 6 o'clock. Time to get on some news. Well, pretty much some discussions right now. That's what I'm going to do. And I want to discuss the fact that we have feds amongst us in this music industry. What do I mean by that? Well, first, before I get into it, if you're an up-and-coming artist, model, and entrepreneur, and you would like to have an interview on our show, make sure you sign up for theraphustle.com, create you a hustler page, and get information. Contact us for more information on how to get on the show. Also, if you got music and you want to get it reviewed right here live on the show, make sure you follow the Facebook page, The Rap Hustle. And also in the comments, there's information on what you need to do to get your music to us. Also, if you are interested in being a part of a big movement, you want a network of people from around the globe, you have to sign up for the raphustle.com. Not the Rap Hustle, my bad. The hiphopfraternity.com. The Hip Hop Fraternity is a networking organization that's been around for two plus years. We have over 25 chapters throughout the United States and in Africa. There's a chapter near you. If it's not one near you, let us know. Join the movement. We can make you ahead of the situation. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're interested in. But yeah, join the movement, the hiphopfraternity.com. Create you a page over there. Network with the people that's on the platform. This is a platform made by us, for us. And we just here to, you know what I'm saying, even the fields on the industry and be able to, you know what I'm saying, throw our weight around in the industry and let them know that we ain't going for the BS no more. Because we, you know, realize that it's a lot of misinformation given to our kids and a lot of, you know, imagery that our kids are, grabbing hold to and becoming a culture, which is why, the industry always finds a way to get inside what we got going on and, pretty much making it what they want it to be. And now we got a culture of killing going on. So with the hip hop fraternity, we are here to unite under one accord and let the powers that be know that we ain't going for it no more. This is our culture. It's our call. So if you want to be a part of the movement, make sure you sign up for the hiphopfraternity.com. Also, if you're in Minnesota, we have Hip Hop Fraternity Minnesota. Follow the Facebook page. We are having meet and greets every week. So follow for more information on that. Now, today's episode is about the infiltration of our culture through the feds and the industry plants that they put inside our culture. What do I mean by that? If you don't know, our culture has been taken over by corporate America. With that being said, the powers that be have a vested interest in us going to jail and us killing each other, because one thing you have to know, if you don't know, is that most of the industry elites, like the big record labels, they have invested in the prison industrial complex, which means they have invested in private prisons. So with that being said, they have a lot to do with why there's so many artists that are portraying negative images to our kids that are getting a whole lot of money that are being put out front for our kids to see and emulate. So now we have this culture of killing going on where the kids are like desensitized at early ages to where it seems like killing is the thing to do. It seems like just being destructive to themselves is the thing to do. And that's not what this hip hop culture was made for. The hip hop culture was made for us, by us, as a way to express ourselves and overcome the adversities that we face in a nation like the United States. So with that being said, now we have come to a point 50 years later in hip hop where the most of the imagery that you see is being presented to us by the powers that be and made to make it look real good so that our kids will follow these folks down the rabbit hole into the prison system. And also they're here to infiltrate our street culture by planting people in our culture to ruffle feathers so that those people may do something stupid to those guys and end up in a situation like 6ix9ine's former crew. Now, as you see, I got 6ix9ine the Academic up there. Why do I have them up there? Well, it has been speculation throughout the hip hop community that these two are industry plants. Allegedly, I'm going to say that allegedly because we if they are, we have no way of knowing that unless we're there in the meetings with the feds while they, debriefing these cats. So, but if you really pay attention to the way that people move and the things that people do and the things that people say, you can understand that it's got to be some kind of force behind them to make them say those type of things and to do the things that they're doing. I mean, let's go back to the 6ix9ine case where he got his fellas locked up. He was running around with these guys claiming the set, and pretty much instigating a lot of trouble within the industry with people like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, Jay Prince, and a whole host of other people. And while he was doing that, the guys that he was running with thought it was cool to do. They felt like it was something that, put them on top of the world, at the moment. And they rolled with it all the way through until the point where they start realizing that, they could, they should do something to this guy because he's really don't have their best interests in mind, basically, So With that being said, those guys tried to do something to the guy, and you see what ended up with them. A lot of those cats got 10 plus years in prison for even dealing with 6ix9ine on that level. But how did 6ix9ine get in the presence of these type of guys? Like, how did he go from being what he was before that to just being just dynamic artists in the industry, out here gang banging, going from city to city, causing trouble with people, and having all the protection that he had to do so? Now, recently, 6ix9ine antics has caught up with him, and he caught a beat down in Florida, unfortunately. And one thing I found interesting in that whole case when I was reading the situation was his lawyer said that they were going to talk to the feds about his security. And that, rang a bell with me, because I'm like, okay, people get beat up all the time, B. Why does the feds need to give him security? They saying because he was a federal witness in the case against him, so I guess they feel like the feds should cover him, but nah, homie. I know a lot of people that, been in the feds, and, I don't know a whole lot of snitches, but I don't think that the feds run around guarding snitches, bodyguarding snitches. But in this case, and I'm going to tell you the truth from the beginning, when he came out and I peeped his character, me being from the school of what I'm from and knowing real when I recognize real, and also recognizing fake too, right? I seen that it was something about this guy's image that just wasn't right. Especially when you start taunting cats like the Prince family, who has the power to touch anybody because they got their money is so long that they can reach people, And it seems to me that it's a lot of people in the industry who are trying to ruffle the Prince's feathers to get them to do something as if it's okay to do. Now, Jay Prince is a man who has fought the feds on different occasions and won because they was trying to set him up to take him down. For years, they've been trying to set him up to take him down for years. So now, out the blue, here we got this rainbow head character, Mexican guy in our culture who's running around with other street guys from our cultures, but disrespecting real representatives of our culture from the streets. Now, I'm not saying that Jay Prince is a street guy or nothing like that. I'm just saying that his ties to the streets are definitely in place. He has a lot of respect from a lot of people from around the world in these streets that will make a move on his behalf, whether he asks them to or not. Just because when you disrespect somebody who's a reputable, you always have people who are loyalists to that person that will do something to you on their behalf without them even having to give them the word to do it. It's just because it's like you disrespected my dad or my uncle or, somebody that I look up to, and you think you're going to run around here and disrespect my people and think that nobody's going to do nothing to you. So I believe the feds put people like Tekashi 6ix9ine and academics in play to ruffle people's feathers so they can monitor those folks' phone calls and see what they're doing. See if they react to it, see if they respond to it. Now, I'm going to take y'all back to Wack 100 when him and Jay Prince got into it over the Larry Hoover thing, and Wack keep going at Jay Prince. But do you remember when Wack said that the feds called him and said that we know that you have a problem with Jay Prince, and we want to know if you feel, basically, are you scared that something might happen to you? And you got to ask yourself, why would the feds call Wack about that out the blue? That means that the feds are watching. They're listening to everything that has anything to do with the Prince family. Now, Jay Prince is the type of guy that knows this. He's not finna fall for the tricks. He has too much to lose falling for the antics. But the disrespect is something that people from our era do not tolerate. It's like, we don't do that. You don't get down like that, especially when you know that somebody has the power to really touch you, to really, get something done to you. You don't just run around and get online and talk about, do this and, offer your body parts to them, in a disrespectful manner and think that it's cool to do, unless you know that you have something bigger in play that's behind you. Now, I don't know if those guys that he was running with actually knew who Jay Prince was or anything like that, but I can guarantee you, if they are what they claim to be, then they should know what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand at the time when that was going on why his OGs was allowing him to do the things that he was doing. And I realized that, money is powerful. Money will make people lose their morals, man. So if you're a street guy, there's street morals that you abide by. And disrespecting somebody like Jay Prince with the status that he has for being the real person that he has been in the industry and to people in the street culture, you would know not to disrespect that guy, especially for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess because the money that 6ix9ine was feeding these guys, they felt like it was okay for him to do. That went on. Now they end up in a situation where they're locked up. So how you think those guys feel right now? Stupid. That's how they should feel. You know what I'm saying? Just like his song, Stupid. You know what I'm saying? They should feel stupid, right? So at the time when it was going on, I'm like, why is this even a thing? You know what I'm saying? But we already know what happened. So then the guy gets out of jail and goes right back to the same antics. Now, anybody who's facing a whole lot of time and got a second chance, the last thing they're going to do is go back to the same antics and go back to doing the same thing they was doing before they went in. Especially if they claim they were scared for their life and, you know what I'm saying, people was doing this and that to them. The last thing you're going to do is get back out there and taunt more people. But this is exactly what 6ix9ine did. 6ix9ine got right back out there and started taunting more people, which made me more understand that this guy has to be a federal plant. Now, if you remember back in the beginning, everybody thought that he was an independent artist that was just making a whole lot of money off of streams. Well, I did my homework on him back then, and I realized that he was signed to a company called 10,000 Projects, which is a company that is owned by one of the Coens' sons. And if you don't know who the Coens is, they are the people who own Universal Records. So if this guy is signed to an executive at Universal Records' son, then you best believe that he has the industry behind him. Not only that, how could a guy like this go to Chicago, Illinois with police protection, go to O-Block, stand out there and leave unscathed, untouched, regardless, it was like 3 a.m. when he went out there. But at the same time, like, to have the moxie to do that, you would have to be protected by something bigger than yourself, especially when you're from New York. You don't know nothing about Chicago. You don't know what's going on in Chicago on O-Block. You've never been there, but you pull up there and you got police protection. Like, if you go back and look at all his old videos, man, he's had ICE agents as his security guards. And he's not the only one. Now, I'm going to give y'all some insights of what I know personal. Now, I have a personal partner who I call a brother in Atlanta who does a lot of security for a lot of artists. And back in the day when he first started, Roscoe Dash was the artist that he was around. And this was around the time when Rick Ross was just really popping off. And he came back from out of town from a show that they had with Rick Ross. And he was, just having a cordial conversation with me about, what was going on. and he was, just in the midst of telling me what was going on, he tells me that, man, all of Rick Ross's security guards are Fed agents. That caught my ear. Like, why is this guy got Fed agents as security guards? And this is some inside information that I got personally from a guy that's inside personally who tells me this. So I'm thinking to myself, well, why would a guy of his stature at that point? He wasn't the Rick Ross that we know today. So how the fuck does he have federal officers as security guards? Why is he so important was my thought at the moment. But then I've watched a lot of things play with him too. Seriously, like right there watching it, like really getting phone calls about the situation. And I'm gonna give y'all this situation. Do y'all remember when the organization, the GD organization, told Rick Ross that he has to check in because he's disrespecting first of all, the star, and also at the same time, you putting Larry Hoover's name in your music, and this man is fighting for his life to get out of prison. And remember, his shows got canceled. Then, after his shows got canceled, he went on the radio, and he didn't do an interview about no new music that he had coming out or anything. His interview was strictly about those cats telling him that he can't do any shows until he check in. And on the interview, this guy uses the word extortion. He says we consider that extortion. First, his words was ain't no checks getting cut. We consider that extortion. Now, if you are in the street culture for real, and you are a boss like Rick Ross from the streets, then you know that these are certain kind of words that you don't use over federally regulated airwaves. So when he said that, it caught my attention. And I instantly made a meme saying, it's Rick Ross the Feds. Because me knowing, being through things in my life, you know what I'm saying, being involved with the criminal elements and going to jail and being around a lot of federal people who had Fed time, I understood what was going on. I said to myself, why would anybody from the street culture get on a radio station and say, use the word extortion? That's a red flag word. So now fast forward, I got a homeboy, Free KK, OG KK. Now, if you don't know who OG KK is, you go back to the first video that came out when they told Rick Ross that he had to check in Georgia. It's a whole lot of guys standing behind my homeboy, OG KK, and everybody else has their faces covered but him and a couple of his guys. Shout out Spike G. You know what I'm saying? And fast forward, there's a guy in the industry by the name of Big L who is known to be the guy who owns Rick Ross's contract. He looks kind of like Rick Ross. Now, this guy's studio is right down the street from our studio in Buckhead. I could ride by a studio every day and you see Rick Ross's cars out there. This actually is the same place where Rick Ross' cars got shot up at, right down the street from the studio that we had in Buckhead in Georgia. So, anyway, to make a long story short, this guy ends up signing my homeboy KK's son. So I'm kind of confused. I'm like, why would the guy that owns Rick Ross' contract sign the guy who told Rick Ross that he can't do any shows? Why would he sign his son and him? Actually, my guy was running around, representing for them. So it was kind of confusing to me, but I said, okay, let me sit back and watch what happens. And I actually gave my guy a call and I asked him about the situation with Rick Ross. And he told me everything was cool. We got all that behind us. I'm like, okay, cool. Still it looked weird to me. So fast forward, my guy and about 28, 30 other people get indicted on some gang shit. And in the indictment, they have a line where they're talking about they were extorting the rapper with the initials RR. So now I go back to that comment that this guy made during the interview where he says we consider that extortion. Is it a coincidence that he says that, and then now, a year and a half, 2 years later, my guys get caught up in a federal indictment, and in the federal indictment, this is listed as one of their charges for the extortion of an artist with the initials RR. Now, keep in mind, this is around the time when Rick Ross had a case himself for kidnapping, when he held the guys at his house that was throwing a party at his house, beat the guys up and held them. And he was in jail for a minute with no bond. And because in Georgia, that's like one of the 7 deadly sins. Like, you can't kidnap nobody. You're not going to get a bond for kidnapping. So Rick Ross gets the bond for kidnapping. He puts up the house. You know, he has the house that Holyfield built. Is the biggest house in Georgia. He all of a sudden puts up the house and gets out. Nobody gets a bond for this. How does he get a bond for it? Then, while he's out on bond, I see him. He's supposed to have a monitor on, but you're in the White House. Not only that, you're in the White House with a monitor on, speaking with the kids, and you have a kidnapping case. On top of that, you went from the White House, and I see you in Germany on the Autobahn. You know. And I'm wondering to myself, since when do people get out of jail with ankle monitors and be able to go to the White House and be able to go to Germany and all this? Like, ain't an ankle monitor, ain't that pretty much house arrest? Why is this guy so special that he gets to go to the White House with an ankle monitor on? Fast forward, my guys get 33 years. Free the guys. OGKK is a good dude. He actually had the streets safe for people because he created an organization called the BCF, Better Communities and Family. And he brought the Crips, the Bloods, and the Gangsters and Vice Lords together in Georgia, and he had them on stages and doing those type of things. And I gave him a call one day, and I told him, like, bro, these cats don't care about us killing each other, but when you get to talking about peace, you need to be careful because they're going to try to come get you. And sure enough, they did. Now, let me tell you how they played this guy. He had a birthday weekend. Now, the guy who has the studio down the street from me, my homeboy comes to me. He's like, did you notice that such and such moved? I'm like, no, I ain't noticed he moved. He was like, oh, yeah, I don't even see his sign on the door of the studio. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. The guy moved back to Miami. Rick Ross was back in Miami at the time. He had left his house in Georgia and was staying in Miami for a while. My homeboy goes out to Miami, gets a $10,000 drop from the guy. The dude does an interview, does a little video on his Instagram and says, yeah, KK, it's your time. You know what I'm saying? Gave him $10,000. This is your weekend. We finna turn up. Right? You know, doing how they do online, flexing. Then all of a sudden, the weekend go by. Sunday morning, the feds is in town picking up KK and 28 others. They pulled up to this guy's house with a tank. No cap, a tank, an army tank. After this guy just had a whole weekend of kicking it and doing his thing, he out here doing good things for the community. They pull up to his house with a tank and arrest him, guys. It was a video that he put. They let him even do a video while he was getting in the car, you know what I'm saying, to let his people know, the feds got me, whoop the bam, keep my head up, I'm gonna be out soon, whoop the bam. So now I have to go back to my original thinking of, is this guy industry plant? Why would he go on the airwaves and say, use the word extortion if he from the streets? Ain't no street dude finna do that. Matter of fact, ain't no street dude finna take none of that business to a radio station. But this is what this guy did, and then my homeboys end up getting 33 years. And actually, when they first went for their arraignment, I got a guy in Atlanta who do videos and stuff who was there with KK's mother. And when she came out the courtroom, he asked her, was Rick Ross in the courtroom? And she said, yes, Rick Ross was in the courtroom, and he pointed out KK as the person who told him that he couldn't do any shows. Let that sink in. So Rick Ross was at the courthouse, and he pointed and said, that guy is the one that said that I can't do the shows. This has never been reported. But these is facts. This is the rap hustle, not the cap hustle. Ain't nothing I'm talking about cap. I spent 20 years in Atlanta watching and paying attention to what the fuck was going on. And I'm here to tell you, that was very interesting to me. And people who know me personally know that was my feelings at the time when he said the shit. And then after the results came back, they was looking at me like, oh no, Rick, you might be right. Now there's another situation that happened. And this is a personal partner of mine that this happened to. You know, I actually met him the day that it happened. They was having BET Hip Hop Weekend. And the guy came to our studio and he was like, man, I'm out here trying to get it in, man. Where's the go out here? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, this Atlanta, it's everywhere to go, man. Everything popping, right? So that guy leaves my studio and he goes out there by Rick Ross' house. He see a line of people out there. He realizes Rick Ross's house. And you might have seen this on TMZ. My guy hops the fence because he's like, he see a lot of people putting their CDs out there by the gate. And he seen the opening. He's like, if I put my CD down here by the gate, he ain't going to see it. It's going to get swept up by the groundskeepers. So he hops the fence and goes up on the man's property and takes pictures and everything with the bottles, put his feet in the man's pool and everything, right? He said he going to put his CD on the front porch. So it was effective. They got the CD, right? So they get a man a call like they finna sign him. This is real, and you can go check my old YouTube page. I got an interview with the guy and everything. He telling the whole story. He gets a call. He's thinking he's about to get signed with Rick Ross people. He comes back to Atlanta from North Carolina to do the meeting. He goes to the meeting. The people ask him, do we want something to drink? Do we want some water? He said, yeah. They came and gave him a cup of water. Not a bottle of Evian and none of that. They gave this man a cup of water. And he said as soon as he went to go drink the water, he felt a hand on his shoulder. And he was like, I know that feeling. That's not the hand of somebody saying, hey, that's an authoritative hand on my shoulder. He said he turned around and the police arrested him for trespassing on Rick Ross's house. And now that had been about 2 months prior. It's been 2 months that gone by. This guy he probably forgot that he did that shit. Why did they put together a sting to get this guy to come to the office so they can arrest him for going on that property? And Rick Ross's name was on the indictment form. Now, keep in mind, it was a small little case and shit, but that's interesting to me. For somebody who says they the boss of streets and all this shit, okay, that man didn't steal nothing or anything, man. You know, that one get away. You know what I'm saying? All right, I got to commend a little homie for his hustle, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how a real one would do. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to call you up and have a police sting for you for trespassing. So that's what, you know, kind of makes me look at Rick Ross in a funny light, man. And then you ain't sell that many records to get all them damn wing stops. I'm just going to say, you know, the feds will give you the look that you need. Bro, you got to take it from me. I was locked up with people who had did Fed time and they told me how the feds caught them up. And it was amazing to me, man. You know, I can give you one story. One guy that used to do the, with them, not cashier's checks, the money orders. Back in the day, you could get a money order for they never had no limit. Or, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have a $500 limit on the money order. So they used to do the money order stings. He said the Fed sent 2 female officers at him. They rode with these females for months, smoked dope with them, had sex with them. As soon as they went to go do their first thing, they put out badges on them and arrested them. Now imagine that. You ride with a female every day, smoking dope with her and doing all kinds of crimes, but as soon as you go do the big thing, the same female pulls out badges and tell you that they the feds. So you got to understand the feds don't play fair. The feds do not play fair. So when y'all talking about these niggas snitching and all that, man, I'm gonna tell you something. When the feds got you, they got you, man, because they done infiltrated you from the inside. And there ain't no way ain't no way around it. You know what I'm saying? You either gonna take your time like a man, or majority of these cats is gonna snitch, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The majority of these cats gonna snitch. The street life is really a myth. You know what I'm saying? Y'all thinking about who's snitching. The thing that killed me about these people talking about who's snitching online, like academics, like, nigga, you ain't worried. You ain't got nothing for nobody to snitch on, so why is that always a topic in your conversation and shit like that? Like, you ain't out here doing no street shit. You know what I'm saying? You say that every day, so why would you worry about who's snitching? Why is this a topic in our community? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, if you see a crime going down and it's against a woman, a child, or, you know what I'm saying, older people, I would recommend that you say something. If it's a gangster on a gangster, man, y'all signed up for that shit. Y'all do what y'all do. But if it's anything outside of that, man, ain't nothing wrong with calling the police and telling them what you saw, man. Because, you know, a lot of things be happening to kids and girls and older people that just be really, man, don't make sense, man. Like, the gangsters of the day, they robbing old folks and robbing women and killing them. Like, they, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been a robber. To me, robbing is hating. And everybody say they ain't no hater, but if you robbing somebody, you hate that they got something that you don't have. So, you know, I've always been real with my partners. Like, bro, I don't condone that type of shit. That ain't my, you know what I'm saying? You don't get no cool points for me for being no robber. You know what I'm saying? But these industry plants is real serious. So you got people like Academic that's out here fanning the flames on shit. You know, that's how he came up. He was fanning flames on the shit that happened in Chicago, to the point where the majority of the cats that we love coming out of Chicago are either dead or locked up or on their way to get locked up. Why? Because they got money now. So when you give a young dude a whole lot of money who's never had an experience in life, his only experience in life is gang banging and riding with his homeboys, and now he got a whole lot of money to buy a whole lot of guns, it's going to take a while before his mind state flipped to the point where he feels like this shit ain't right. It happens to all of us. You know, when you're young and dumb and don't know no better, you do young, dumb shit. But when you become a man, you start to understand that shit ain't cool. You feel what I'm saying? So I think y'all need to be careful out here in this game when y'all, you know, signing to these labels and working with these people, and you out here still trying to keep one foot in the street. I would suggest you either rap or do the street shit. But if you're going to do the rap, man, leave that street shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to take that full leap and say, I'm going to have to leave that behind. And it works if you got the talent. It would definitely work for you. If you got the talent and the know-how and the right people around you, it could really work for you. But if you just out here trying to emulate what you hearing and what you seeing from these artists, I want you to know that most of them artists that you listening to are being paid by the feds to make you do ignorant shit so you could go to jail. Yeah, think about it like this. And this is another personal situation that I've been in. You know, like, I was there personally to see this unfold. When Gucci Mane caught the murder case, a lot of things happened in Atlanta because somebody was talking. Somebody went in there and told those people a lot of things. Now, first of all, for him to tell the people that Jeezy was trying to have him killed, if that's not considered snitching, then I don't know what you consider it. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel unsafe, so now you just got to make a safe spot for yourself by telling these people, man, this is what's going on. And then also, as soon as they dropped the case, damn near everybody he was dealing with, studio got raided. Ask me how I know. Well, when I first moved to Atlanta, I was working with this artist named Pretty Boy Thug. I had wrote a couple songs for him, and he was under Big Cat Records, who was who Gucci Mane came out with first, Big Cat Records. I was there when Big Cat Records signed Gucci. When I first met Gucci, I was like, this guy is a goofy. He acts real retarded. Something ain't right with him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't had no appeal to me. Like, I think, you know what I'm saying, show but shouty. That's why I looked at him like. But, yeah, them folks' studios got raided. A lot of folks went down after Gucci got out of jail. And then you get out of jail, and the main thing you doing is taunting Jeezy and taunting Jay-Z. And you got a $3 million deal. Who goes to jail and get a $3 million deal? Now, another personal story that I can tell you about, if you remember back when T.I. had a guy on his team named Alpha Mega, and T.I. came out and did a press conference and said Alpha Mega was a federal informant, right? Well, I met Alpha Mega on the humbug out there in Atlanta selling my CDs at the gas station. He pulled up on me. The guy told me to get in the truck, let me hear what he was working with. And he was like, yeah, man, I just got out of prison, man, but I'm signed with Universal. So me as an artist out here grinding my CDs, I'm thinking to myself, well, how the fuck you get signed and you just got out of prison? Now, this is before T.I. said this man was a federal informant or anything. My thoughts was like, how the hell did you get a record deal and you just got out of prison, bro? I've been out here grinding, selling CDs and everything, bro. Like, that's where they giving the record deals out in prison? And that's real facts. I met this guy personally, sat in the car, listened to his music, he listened to mine. We were supposed to do some things, man. Then all that came out. And it was like, wowzers, oh, okay, I see how he got that record deal in prison. He working with them people. Now, one of the first things he did when he got out of prison was he was in the camp with Benny Siegel. So he went to Philly and was fucking with Benny Siegel. And this is around the time Benny Siegel caught all that time. Now let's think about it. Now you went from Benny Siegel, now you out here with T.I., but he's from Atlanta now. I'm gonna give you some real. In Atlanta, they know him as Techwood Ed, and the man is a real goon. When you meet him, you know. You see him, you know. If you know, you know. This guy is a killer. He ain't no chump. He ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? Real killer. I know him personally. I ain't talked to him in a while, but knew him personally. He's a real killer, man. And they got documentaries out on the guy on YouTube. Techwood Ed, look it up. But when that shit came out that he was working with the feds, you know, he did a rebuttal and let them know, like, man, I really didn't snitch on nobody. I just lied and said I knew somebody who I didn't know. But that's still the same, like, come on, man, that's neither here nor there with me. It wasn't me, so I ain't tripping. But it just made me understand more that, damn, the feds is really putting niggas in position around this motherfucker. They really putting dudes in position around here. That's how these cats getting all this damn money, because they signing these federal motherfucking deals. And they getting out here saying all this and acting all this. See, when you working with the feds, you going to get away with a lot of shit. But I'm going to tell you one thing they going to do. When they get done with your ass is done. Nigga, they either going to kill you or they going to lock your ass up in prison for a long time. Suge Knight. Oh, y'all don't know? Okay, well, allegedly, Suge Knight was a part of the big scheme to infiltrate the rap game. If you know, back in the day, they had a meeting, and Busy Bone then was talking about this on an interview with Vlad TV or something, but they had a meeting on infiltrating the hip-hop industry for the sake of getting to filling up those prisons. And allegedly, Suge Knight was a big part of that situation. That's why he was doing the things that he was doing. If you pay attention to when he turned himself in, he looked real comfortable with those folks. You would have thought that he was finna walk in that motherfucking jail and then he was gonna come right back out. Remember, he put the cigar out and was like, I'm gonna be back for that, you know, jokingly. Like, why is he joking about that? You just killed the man. You talking about you finna be back for the cigar. You know, when people say things, man, you better listen to them. And I pay attention to a lot of things. I'm a Cancer, man, so I'm detail oriented. You better say the right thing to me, because you might think you're saying something slick, but I'm really seeing your motive, right? So they was through with him at that time. So now he's in this situation. He feel like he finna get out. And they done buried this guy. They buried the man in jail, man. Do you remember the guy couldn't even make a phone call? He couldn't even be in a room with his lawyer by himself. Y'all don't be paying attention. Suge Knight, when he was fighting that murder case, they would not allow him a phone call, a visit, or nothing. And if he wanted to talk to his attorney, there had to be an agent in there with him. Now, what happened to attorney-client privilege? But y'all ain't paying attention to this shit. See, y'all paying attention to, oh, they got money, though. And all the ignorant shit that they do, you know, to get the money. And then you think that you got to do this ignorant shit to get the money, not knowing that you falling for a trap, man, because it's a lot of Fed shit going on in this industry, man. That's why I've always wanted to be independent. And that's why I have this platform, theraphustle.com, for the independent artists, models, and entrepreneurs who just want to have a platform where they can be themselves, man, without having to deal with all that. And also, we have a network of people from around this world right now. With the Hip Hop Fraternity, we have over 25 chapters in the United States and Africa, and growing in less than 2.5 years. And if you want to be a part of the movement, sign up for the hiphopfraternity.com and create you a profile page. It's a lot of unique characters over there that you can reach on the platform. It's not like Instagram and Facebook where it's oversaturated and everybody's in their DMs. No. Like, we got people over there that you might know and be like, man, I'm a part of this hip hop fraternity. I'm reaching out to you, who up the bam, and they're going to accept you, because this is a movement made for unity. It's our culture, it's our call. It's time for us to take our culture back in our hands, man, because we as urban people always let these folks trick us with this money. They trick us with the bag. They take everything that we got, make it theirs, and then throw us in the fucking trash, and we keep accepting this shit. But we have to say no more. And the only way we're going to say no more is if we understand what's going on, because a lot of us don't really understand. A lot of us really think that the shit that we see is real, when the shit really ain't real. Like, it's a lot of industry plant shit going on out here, man. When you think about people talking about T.I. being a snitch, there's no paperwork on T.I. being a snitch, true, right? All right, I get it. Okay. Me, myself, I don't say that he a snitch, but you don't have to be a snitch to be an informer either. An informer is just somebody who inform you what's going on, right? So now with T.I. being in the industry, you don't think those folks have a vested interest in him and his network of people that he networked with within the industry and what they got going on? You got to remember, T.I. and Young Thug was real close. You feel me? I ain't saying T.I. snitched on Young Thug. Not saying that. I'm just saying they was real close. So when you real close with somebody and you from the streets and you real feel comfortable with that person, you will let that person know what you got going on. And it don't take T.I. to get on the stand and say, yeah, I seen him do this, or yeah, I seen him do that. An informer can also inform them people like, yeah, they got a gang called YSL. Yep, that's what it is. It's a gang. That's it. We just want to know if this is what this is. Yep, that's what it is. That's an informer also. So you don't have to literally snitch on anybody to be an informer for the federal agents. And this is one thing that we have to know, since the hip hop culture comes from the streets and everybody claims to be a street person. Well, if you really in the streets, then you really gonna do your homework on what's going on. You ain't gonna be out here blind, because we had a saying when we was coming up that said, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And lately, we've been falling for just everything. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker tell us the sky is falling right now. We'll go get some steel umbrellas and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, shit ain't going to save you, nigga, if the sky is falling. You know what I'm saying? But now, see, we as a culture, we don't be paying a real attention to what's going on. We just like the entertainment. We like to be entertained, so they entertain us right into a motherfucking pit. And then they make us look like we did that shit. You know what I'm saying? They did it with Malcolm X. They did it with everybody else who had a movement. You know what I'm saying? But not with the hip hop fraternity. They can't kill the head of the hip hop fraternity. Why? Because there is no head of the hip hop fraternity. Everybody is a boss. Everybody is their own person. We just under one accord for the thing that we fell in love with, hip hop. And we here to network with each other and bring peace and love and respect back into the game. Because that's what we stand on, love, peace, and respect. And that's what we have to stand on as a culture, not just in music, but in our communities. And I feel like since hip hop is 50 years old, then we old enough to start teaching, man, because it seemed like a lot of these cats don't have any idea of the history of what's been going on with this music genre, how it got to where it's at. A lot of these young cats who grew up with this rap that don't know no days when it wasn't rap on the radio. Like, I remember when it wasn't no rap on the radio. Now that's all you hear is rap. But when you hear it, it's all the negative rap. So if they went from not putting rap on the radio, why would they go from, okay, well, shit, let's put the negative shit on the radio? You know? Why did they do that? You know, when we had X-Clan and Public Enemy and all those people that was speaking Fight the Power, we had Tupac. Now, you heard Tupac on the radio, true enough, because Tupac was just that hot. They had to play him on the radio. Couldn't deny that boy his star. But there was a whole lot of other people that was fighting for us as a culture to come together and unify and stop killing each other. And all those people got suppressed. And then they started bringing people to the forefront that's telling you murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. And then our kids grow up on this. See, it took me till I was 35 years old to realize just how messed up we was as young black men growing up in the urban community without fathers. You know what raises us? The music that we listen to. If you don't think that you're raised off the music that you listen to, just think about the way that you talk. Think about the things that you gravitate towards. You know what I'm saying? I remember when it was a time when popping pills was something that, you know, the other race did. Now it's just like the thing to do. It's like everybody's a pill popper. So, well, guess what? I've never popped a pill in my life. Never wanted to, never will. I don't even take headache medicine because I know that anything these folks got to give me is not to help me, it's to kill me. If you don't think these folks want to destroy us, man, you got another. You really lost. You really lost, and you helping because you falling into the trap. You're not really using your third eye and realizing what's really going on. That's why I play my song at the beginning of my show called "Realize," because I realize what's really going on out here right now. And the saying goes, "Realize, realize, realize." If you know what I'm saying. And you being lied to. You got people like Future talking about Molly, Percocet, and then they turn around and get on the interview and say, well, I don't do none of that shit. But now you got a whole culture of kids out here, Molly, Percocet, Molly. I need a Percocet, I need a Molly. And the guy who's promoting that don't do any of it. But now everybody's doing it. So who do we blame for that? I really believe that we should get together and put a lawsuit against the entertainment industry. Just like they put a lawsuit against the tobacco industry for targeting kids with their campaigns. Well, they targeting kids with their campaigns, with the music, because they know the kids love this music. So now you got a culture of kids that's watching NBA YoungBoy and all these other cats destroying each other, destroying themselves, and they think that that's what they're supposed to do. So who's gonna take the stand and say, man, nah, that ain't cool. That ain't what's up. I guess I could do it. That's why I'm here. Real Rapper Rico the Plug. We here for real rap. That means, nigga, we gonna have some real conversations. We gonna talk about some real things. And if you interested in being a co-host, being on the show, getting your music promoted, interviewed, marketed, whatever, man, that's what we here for, man. You know what I'm saying? It don't cost a lot, but it's going to cost you because it costs us to run our platform. Now, if you want to, you can keep pushing and go get you a Fed deal. They handing out them Fed deals like cake. I'm telling you. You can get you a Fed deal For sure. I'm gonna tell you what they used to do back in the day. Like, cats used to get arrested in the streets for drugs, right? And then they would tell the police that they're gonna set somebody up, and then the police would set them free to go set them people up, and they give them an amount of time to set the people up. A couple of guys that I know that went through that situation, they ran. They ended up, going on the run and not, cooperating. They just said that to get out. But back then that was happening. Nowadays they paying niggas to do that. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I looked at the prices on being a snitch and I was like, bro, I think I'm in the wrong motherfucker. Oh man, I was on the wrong side of the streets, I guess, man. They paying damn near $100,000 a year just to tell on niggas. So you think about that in a world where everybody talking about they trying to get at the bag, man. How many of you think signed up to that application to be snitches, bro? They talking about nigga damn near $100,000 a year to be a snitch, bro. Like, shit, if I ain't got no job, nigga, and I'm in these streets and I can't get a sack, I'm probably finna go sign up to be a snitch for $100,000 a year, man. I mean, it sounds like a great career move. I ain't gonna lie to you, you know what I'm saying? So think about that. So if they just paying regular people $100,000 a year to tell on people, what you think they giving niggas like 6ix9ine to be in the industry, giving them all these money, man, giving them here, take the cars here. All this shit's been confiscated from other shit. See, that's what y'all don't understand. They'll send a motherfucker to your town in a Lamborghini and all that shit. You'll be like, oh, this nigga doing it. Man, he the guy. And everybody following him right to the motherfucking jailhouse, bro. I ain't mad at you. Keep doing your thing. I'm definitely gonna keep doing mine. But let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think that academics and 6ix9ine and a lot of other people are industry fed plants? You know what I'm saying? Or do you think that people that's just a conspiracy theory? Because as we've been finding out lately, that everything that people thought was conspiracy theories was actually real. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those folks that got them shots. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Congratulations, you played yourself. See, one thing I knew about that was like, and not to, just not to break the conversation, but when that situation came up, I was like, bro, they can't arrest all of us for not taking shots, bro. So I'm good. I ain't gonna take no shots. You know what I'm saying? They had to fine me. Fuck that, nigga. I'm defiant as hell to a system that don't give a fuck about me. See, that's why hip hop came about, because the system didn't give a fuck about us. We had to make our own way, and we made a way that took over the world, and then they took over the way that we made. And now the young cats is falling into that trap and thinking that that's where it's at in order for them to be who they want to be. And most of them don't even know who the fuck they is. Because the saying goes, if you don't know where you come from, then you don't know where you're going. You're just like a chicken with your head cut off. And that's facts. But if you got some music that you want me to review right here on the show for the bar exam, make sure that you follow the Rap Hustle Facebook page. And the information is right there in the live comment section. You know what I'm saying? And as per usual, I will play the songs that I do have so y'all can get a glimpse of the artists that I do work with. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I work with are really on their groove. And I'm giving y'all some exclusive listens too. This shit's not being played on the radio yet. Will be soon. This is my little nephew, Ote Feng Shui, North Atlanta. Out there where the Migos is from, man. He's the Prince of North Atlanta, and that's no cap. You can ask the Migos that, they'll tell you. This is a song, him and Drummer Boy. If you don't know who the producer Drummer Boy is, Google him. That's bro too. But this song here is called Ice Spice. Right here live on the raphustle.com. Let's check it out.
Listen to this track, bitch.
Yeah. Ooh.
And if you got some music you want to be played, if you know any artists, tell them to get up with me. You dig?
They bad, you better. They mad, you make it no matter. Big bad blood like it don't matter. All work don't do no chatter. Might feature her on my album. You go public if you risky. I know they gon' miss you. How they miss me? if I snatch you away from the city. Yeah, if I took you away for a minute. When I get what I want, I be stingy. Got the juice in you, make it look simple. I'm with you, it don't take no convincing. I've been putting on Gucci and Fendi. I've been putting no shots with my team. I don't see why these niggas offended. First thing first, gotta get to the cake. These niggas ain't got no taste. I could settle for a lot of what take. We could set up a date in the rave. The way they made me, they just ain't gon' make. Too solid, baby, ain't gon' flake. Straight up, baby, ain't gon' chase. New vibes and they rippin' no tape. I could take you away from the city.
And leave a comment, let me know what you think about the artist music that we play, man. They definitely want to know what you think. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that y'all listening. Share this broadcast. You know what I'm saying?
Designer, the sauce never empty. So icy, so spicy, so minty. My mama taught me keep it pimpin'. I'm giving it to her, she giving. Designer, the sauce never empty. So icy, so spicy, so minty. My mama taught me keep it pimpin'. I'm giving it to her, she giving. New piece been calling my phone. Can't pick up, I've been zoning. Drop one, hit it, we on. And that's why I've been focused. I hope you understand. I want your love. You know I'm man enough to tear that pussy up. You don't move too fast. I like you cause you move with class. My Cinderella got VVs on no glass. She thicky, those Chanel's on her ass. I put her first place, she was never last. New fun sway, maybe I can end up with you one day. Hopping in the Benz in the coupe one day. Taking you and your friends to the 2 one day. 305, if I pick you up, I'm up or down. We can kill a scene 100 times, showing that we one of a kind. I could take you away from the city. You know how we get it, it's busy. I keep it 100, 150. You know how it get when you with me. Designer, the sauce never empty. So icy, so spicy, so minty. My mama taught me keep it pimpin'. I'm giving it to her, she giving. Designer, the sauce never empty. So icy, so spicy, so minty. My mama taught me keep it pimpin'. I'm giving it to her, she giving.
That was Otay Feng Shui. You can follow him on IG at Otay Feng Shui, man. Tell him Rico the Plug sent you that way. It's the real rapper Rico the Plug. If you're an artist and you got music that you would like to be reviewed on the show, make sure that you follow the Rap Hustle Facebook page for the information. Also sign up for this website, theraphustle.com. Create you a hustler page and let's hustle together, man. What I mean by that is, man, you can share your music and your videos over there. And if we like what you got going on, we'll push that stuff out into the main front page of the website, just like how World Star do, but on a better occasion, because we really here for you. Also, if you just want to pay for your shit to get up there, you can do that also. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to charge you no arm or no leg because we need the content just like you need the content. So speaking of that, we also going to be doing a lot of our own content, which means we're going to be doing music, projects with up-and-coming artists and producers and, you know, putting it out there and, you know, not compilation. I don't like even saying the word compilation. They're just going to be real projects that we put out there and profit share together. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get their money off of it. You know what I'm saying? Let's push together. Because, see, if you're an independent artist, the main thing that you really need is a team, and that's what a lot of us be missing is that team. You know what I'm saying? Because marketing and promotion is very important when it comes to doing this music. Okay, you got dope music, so you think. But how does the world know if you're not marketing and promoting it? If it's not on the market and people don't know that it's there, what does it matter if your music is the best? To you, your music is the best. If you made your music to play for yourself, that's cool. You know, you and your homeboys ride around smoking and just listening to your shit, and you might do a few open mics here and there, but if you really trying to get yourself out there, man, trust me, our network is extensive. The network is extensive. I put in a lot of work to get to this point, and not just for me, but for y'all. Because I don't even focus on rap no more myself. Because when I seen what was going on with the game and how the lyrics started changing to the self-righteous bullshit, and, you know, of course we did a lot of bragging and boasting. That's cool. That's part of this culture. But nah, come on, can we have some variety? Can we have some other shit? Do anybody got anything else to say? I mean, that's what I'm looking for, man. Inspire me with your lyrics, man. We came up in a time where you had to inspire us with music, man. And if we don't bring the inspiration back, we can might as well say that this shit is real dead. Because the people who created it don't even like listening to it. It's a shame when the people who started, when you create something and you don't even like the shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, where they do that at, man? Only us, you know what I'm saying? And guess who's eating off of us, though? The corporates loving it. They loving it. Yeah, y'all keep killing each other. Matter of fact, we gonna put insurance on your ass. Because we know the lyrics you talking about, somebody gonna kill your motherfucking ass. But come on, nigga, we got a show for you. We gonna put you on the front street so they can find you, too. Yeah, you gonna be over here. There you go. And y'all out here promoting that, thinking that y'all untouchable. Then on the flip side, you got the goofy niggas doing the goofy shit. Shout out to Tekashi 6ix9ine. And fucking up the whole culture. Like, this is what we come to now. Now niggas is just itching to whoop a nigga on the phone and tell on they self. Niggas is just, well, nigga, you mad at him for being a snitch, but you snitching on yourself, recording what you do to him. First of all, you got to know there's cameras everywhere you go, man. But they putting cameras in everything, boy. Shit. You better check your motherfucking buttons on your jacket. You might have a camera in that motherfucker. I'm telling you the truth, man. Y'all talking about snitching, bro. Y'all telling on yourselves out here. Only thing I'm snitching on is this music and shit, man. So then if you got some good music, I'm definitely telling on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely snitching. I'm telling, oh, you need to hear this boy music. This shit hard right here. That's what I'm snitching on. I'm snitching on your music. I'm snitching on your products, your services. Because what I like, I get inspired by talking to people about the things that they do. You know what I'm saying? And why they do it. Because some people be doing things that other people thought they could never do. But when you see somebody doing something that you might have wanted to do and had no clue on how to do it, then you kind of get an insight on where they started at. Then it make you more, you know what I'm saying, receptive to knowing that you can do some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We come from a mind state of oppression. You know, masters say we can't drink at the water fountain. Ooh, don't look at them. Put your head down. I remember when I first went down south, I was about 19 years old. Now you got to keep in mind, I'm from the street organization, and I'm from the Midwest, born in Illinois, raised in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? I stand under a law. You feel me? So I'm down south in the country. I'm 19 years old. I'm smoking cigarettes, been drinking beer before I was 21 and all that, right? I'm down here kicking it with these cats, man, and they looking at me crazy. So we around my uncle. I'm at my uncle's crib. Shout out my Uncle Sylvester. I'm at his crib down south in Riceboro, Georgia. I'm in a city where ain't even no street signs or street lights, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell them if I gotta get to you. And it wasn't no GPS, right? So I'm out here, and we around some grown folks, and I pull out a pack of cigarettes. I'm about to smoke the cigarettes, and them cats looked at me like, oh, you smoke around grown folks? I'm like, bro, they smoke around me? The hell, what's wrong with y'all niggas, man? Why y'all acting like this is sin, bro? I'm over 18 years old. I could buy these motherfuckers. What you talking about? Like, I ain't understand why their mentality was like that. But going back and moving to Atlanta and being there for 20 years, I really understand the mentality. Being from the north and moving to the south, man, I tell everybody, it's like, man, forget everything that you learned. All them rules and shit that you raised up to here, man, man, look, bro, you're going to have to learn something new. You're going to learn something new. I mean, it took me about 7 years to really just kind of just be okay with just knowing that it's a whole lot of weird shit going on, but that ain't what I'm here for. You know, I had to be like, man, you know what? That's them niggas. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But when it catches you off guard, the weirdness of the shit that go on in a city like Atlanta, and even in the streets, like even in the streets, it was something different from what I was used to, and it didn't make no sense to me. It's like, bro, y'all fiends talk to y'all like, nigga, you ain't shit. I've never heard that before. They don't disrespect where I'm from because they already know what come with that, but it's a whole different ballgame when you north and south in it. But it's goods and bads for everything. One thing I learned about being in Atlanta, man, first of all, I learned family structure. I learned entrepreneurship on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go to a spot like Atlanta, you see young cats driving in Bentleys and shit like that. Like, everybody ain't selling no motherfucking dope, bro. Niggas are selling houses and all types of shit. And this was foreign to a lot of us coming from, you know, where we come from, where, nigga, it's all about keeping your head on the swivel and getting to the money. Don't get me wrong. People have real estate and all that. But I guess because we, in our area, we can't really ride around here in no Bentley or nothing, because somebody gonna get you at the light. I'm like, oh boy, who is he? Let's get him. Because that's the mentality that we have, and it's fucked up. That's fucked up because, man, imagine Minnesota with Bentleys and everything, people riding around, we pulling up now, and everybody in Mozzies and all that. Like, I can see that, but the only way that's going to happen is if there's some unity, some kind of family structure. And that's why I moved back to my city, because they know me in Atlanta, man. You know, it's two different things. In Minnesota, they know me as Minister Reek. In Atlanta, they know me as Rico the Plug, but I'm still the same person. Either one. Whichever one you call me, I'm still the same guy as the first day that you met me, man. I got a lot of love and loyalty for those who have love and loyalty for me. And I do know how to decipher the difference, but I can still work with you. I learned how to put my pride to the side and say, I ain't fucking with, nah, bro, I'm fucking with you. I just know you're a funny nigga. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with you, though. You know what I'm saying? You keep that funny shit over there, but we can still make some move on this music and shit. If we ain't doing the music, then there ain't nothing else that we could do. Because that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing since I was legit. You know what I'm saying? I've always been into this entertainment field. I never wanted to do nothing else but entertainment. And yeah, I wanted to be a well-known rapper. Yup. From Minnesota. And I was in Atlanta for 20 years, and after 20 years, there still ain't no well-known rapper from Minnesota. But now you got a cat who wanted to be that. They got the network to make somebody else be that. To make a whole lot of other people be that, because I believe that we got what it takes to make a motherfucking statement in this game. Because one thing about Minnesota, which helped me in my when I moved to Atlanta, was the fact that everybody in Minnesota ain't from Minnesota. So when you go to like Atlanta, and where I was staying at on the north side in Norcross, where the Migos and them was from, everybody over there is not from Atlanta. They from everywhere else. So it was easy for me to make the transition and get to networking with the cats that was from out of town, because I didn't really want to be around the cats that I didn't understand their lingo. I didn't, you know, I need a translator around you niggas, and y'all keep calling me shawty and saying all kinds of weird shit that'll get you punched in the mouth where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really deal with y'all, but I respect it. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep that moving. Y'all stay over there with that shit. Leave me out of that. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I had to go there and swallow my pride and put a lot of that animosity that I have towards my, how could I say it, environment. Because, see, we all out here working on animosity towards our environment. That's why we don't fuck with each other. I don't fuck with that. Like, what? Every time somebody tell me that, I ask them, like, why? And they can never answer me why. It's just like, I just don't. Like, man, that's the weirdest shit ever to me. You never had a altercation with this person. You never had a conversation with this person, but you just, I don't fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Nigga think well, how do you know what he think he is if you never talk to him? So we got to get out of that, man. We got to get out of that, man. I'm with my homeboy, whether he right or wrong. Like, nigga, I used to tell my brother, homie, when we go to this party, bro, if anybody starts something with us, we gonna finish that. But, nigga, I'm here to party. So if anything happen and you trying to start something, you on your own with that. Because obviously you want to fight everybody in the club, because I ain't come here for that. That's how I make it perfectly clear, nigga. I don't come here for that, because I know that when people get in groups together with other people for some reason they kind of want to show out. You know what I'm saying? Like you got them cats that want to start fights and shit. Like I never start a fight when they by themselves, but when they 2 or 3 deep, now you know, I'm with my homeboys. I'm finna say some shit, walk and mug a nigga and bump into niggas and act like, you know, like, bro, you soft. Sit your ass down. You only doing that because you with us, bro. So if you do that, you on your own, homie. Cause I don't play like that, bro. I'm not finna put nobody in no situation. I was told to do my dirt by my lonely, so I'm definitely not here to do no dirt with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm keeping a clean face out here, man. And I got a clean face card, man. In Minnesota and in Atlanta and in other places in the world, man. And I'm here to bring my network to you right here with the raphustle.com. So if you got any music, any projects, you don't have to just rap. It's just called the Rap Hustle because I'm here to put the hustle back into the rap and kill these niggas with all that cap. Because you hear a lot of these niggas rapping about they hustlers, but they don't have no CDs, they don't have no merch. They just got a mic in their hand and probably 1 or 2 people with them. But now they want to get paid for a show. You ain't bring your little cousin. Your little cousin ain't even come and support you. So how much you feel like you worth then? So that's my question to these artists that want to get paid shows. What determines your payment? Like, what determines your worth? Like, how do you assess what you worth? If you can't bring even 10 people to a club, because see, when people pay you to perform, it's because you're going to bring people in the building. If you ain't bringing people in the building, there's no reason for me to pay you to perform. And that's just the truth, man. So y'all think, oh, man, bite on that. And I'm finna close down this show, man. But tomorrow night, 6 p.m., I'm thinking about changing the time to 9 p.m. so I can give people time to settle in at the crib. If you're watching this now, or if you watch it later, let me know. Do you think 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. would be the best time? I'm thinking 9 p.m. though. So stay plugged in. Follow the raphustle.com on Facebook, at The Rap Hustle, on Instagram at The Rap Hustle _COM, on YouTube, The Rap Hustle ATL. Most importantly, sign up for the raphustle.com. Create you a hustlers page. If you're an independent artist, a model, a person with a product, and just want to get our attention so we can help push what you got going on, because I'm reaching out to you, but you got to reach back. The only way I'm going to feel you is if we touch each other's hands, man. You know what I'm saying? Make this place a better place if we can. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the OGs. It's time to build this bridge and show these little niggas some new rules. Old school new rules. Rico the Plug. I'm going to end this show once again with some music that I just made just for this purpose, man. So y'all can hear. I'm just, this ain't the Cap Hustle, this the Rap Hustle. I rap myself, but it ain't about me. Where I'm at with this. And I've been smoking. So I'm definitely hungry. Yeah, man. Okay, that's all right. Do. If you want your music reviewed, follow The Rap Hustle on Facebook and check the comment section for the instructions on how to get your music to us. With that note, I'm up out of here. Rico the Plug, theraphustle.com.
It just ain't right.
Let's hustle together.
Easy to get in, hard to get out. Wish I never got in. Now that I'm out, I'm reaching back. Look.
Yeah.
Now how could I love these streets that don't love me? The same streets that drug my ass through the mud and turned me into a thug. It's been ugly since the day I said I made an oath and never spoke until now. You ask why? Cause I opened my eyes to realize that they told me. And I also realized the real life that it showed me. As an OG, I gotta do my part to reach back, dig deep down inside my heart and speak facts. If he says the shit ain't hard, then he's capped. Why the fuck you think he gave you the strap? You peep that? Cause he know you gon' need that. And they say that they love you, but don't believe that. The same ones that say that they love you would be the same ones that slug you. Little homie, you can take that as facts. And you might think that they love you until they standing above you, about to turn your stupid ass to a pack.
Yeah, I saw that shit right there.
I realize these streets ain't nothing like they used to be. And I realize that these streets are not the place for me. They told me all these lies, but now it's no disguise. Cause I have opened both my eyes. Now how can I love those who don't love me? Now that's above me, because I know it could get ugly if I ain't have God in my life. Yeah, that sounds about right. Lord, forgive them for what they do when they doing it right. Cause they know not what they do when they doing it right. Only got one life and they ready to ruin it, right? Ready to sacrifice for the love of bag, or for the sake of getting shit that they ain't ever had. Hop in the whip and crash. Nigga smash, hit the gas, do the dash, do whatever, just get away fast. But you can't get away from yourself, now that's the truth. Every day you gotta look in the mirror and face the truth. Your head is way too big for all that cap that you be putting on, which means you're way too fake for all that fake shit that you putting on. Bro, them ain't diamonds, them is moisonettes. The jeweler must have seen them coming and overcharged his dumb ass, I bet. I realize these streets ain't nothing like they used to be. And I realize that these streets are not the place for me. They told me all these lies, but now it's no disguise. Cause I have opened both my eyes and I realize.
Yeah, I saw that shit right there.
What's up, folks? It's your boy Rico the Plug with TheRapHustle.com. I'm looking for the hottest up-and-coming artists, models, and entrepreneurs in the game to interview right here live on my show, Real Rapper Rico the Plug. So, if you're interested in promoting your music, your videos, your products, or your services on our platform, sign up for TheRapHustle.com and create a page under the Hustler tab. Look, this is the Rap Hustle, not the Cap Hustle. So sign up and let's hustle together. Church.